Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're coming at you with a new league, Velocity Racing League. We're heading to Iowa for the penultimate round in the summer championship part of the schedule. Next up after this race is Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Canada, in replacement of Toronto because iRacing doesn't have the Toronto street course. But however, I'm feeling very confident. I'm currently P3 in the point standings just because I've pretty much made the most starts in this summer championship. I can't really hold a candle to Nikhil or Cam, unfortunately. So qualifying here was actually pretty tough because I feel like it's pretty easy to mess up in one of these corners because you're just going flat out, and also because the time gain and time loss are so minute that if you make just the slightest bit of oversteer into one of these corners, you're losing about like a tenth, and that can drop you from a potential pole run to pretty much 10th. And so this first lap was pretty decent. Second lap was a little bit better, but then going to turn 3, I think I rotated a little bit too much and lost a little bit of time. I had to breathe the throttle and lost a little bit of time. So I believe we're qualified P4, and I actually touched the apron right there, so that caught me a little bit of oversteer and got me really tight off exit, almost the wall, and almost didn't have that lap count. But that little cut to the line gained me a little bit of time. So we wound up qualifying P4 for this race. So that's pretty good lineup, starting at the front of the pack. We have a pretty decent car count here, so hopefully we get a pretty fun race in with lots of pit strategies and I guess a little bit of chaos. Alright, so we qualified P4 in this race, not too bad. Second row on the outside, so we're going to try and see what we can do off this green flag start. Well, off pit road, it's pretty optimistic. I feel like coming to the green flag right here, the pace car peels off onto pit road. The field will face the green flag for the first time this race.
Most aggressive driver on the outside, Shetty.
Coming to the green flag, we're racing here at Iowa. We got a couple of guys actually spinning the wheels in the back right there, and we actually got an incident going on in the back, but no caution was called for some reason. So anyway, back at the front, riding on board, we got the run on the outside. We're barely clear of Shuddy here, the leader, going in the outside in turn 3 and 4 right here. We got a really quick lap here, 16 second laps, and we're going to be able to make the run on the outside and lead the first lap here at Iowa.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to piss before this is over, I bet.
And it won't be very long until we got our first caution of the race on lap 5 or 6. And it looks like he just gets a little high, a little loose off the exit, goes down into the infield, makes contact to the inside wall, and then apparently is unable to stop the car and goes back up track and causes a caution. So I'm not too concerned about that. At least it's a little bit of a breather. Here's a replay of the starting race wreck. Just people spinning the tires and losing it on cold tires, pretty much. This is the points leader right here, Cam, and he just noses it into the outside wall, and he has to take a fast repair already. So now fast forwarding to the first restart of the race, I command the restart of the race, and I go whenever I choose to go. And so in this case, I decided to go when the green lights came out, and when that happened, I kind of gave Nikhil right here, the guy on the outside, a big jump on the outside to make a move for second really and get Shuddy off the restart. So now all I'm trying to do right here is trying to place my car right in front of Nikhil's, give him the dirty air, and make his car drive terrible in the wake of my car. So fast forwarding lap 28, as you can imagine, there's not really much going on as I'm the leader, but Nikhil is starting to catch me. I'm starting to wear through my front tires a lot more than he is. He's able to maintain his fronts while in the dirty air by just keeping up in the in-car adjustments by anti-roll bars and weight jacker and whatnot. And in the meantime, Shuddy is also catching and putting pressure on Nikhil here. So we're all trying to like maintain our tires, but also run as fast as possible. And right here, lap 59, you can really see Nikhil has caught me a lot more. I'm struggling on my turn in and holding the bottom line really and getting the run off. So where I'm struggling, he's actually gaining time, regardless of, you know, me putting the dirty air on his nose. He's still able to gain time on me overall. Right here, he makes a move to the inside, because you see right here, I'm not able to really hold the bottom line. I'm holding like a car width above just because I'm not able to keep the speed up in the middle of the corner. And so Nikhil's able to get the car width and a half space on his front wing, which is clean air, and gives him extra downforce to the corner and makes him faster in the corner than me. So with him being able to save his tires better than me, and also having the bottom line on lap 61. He tries to set me up for the move here on the bottom. He gets the bottom line right here, clean air to his nose, but he gets shut off at the exit right here. I'm able to hold a high line. He's not able to get the full arc out of the corner, but now in turns 3 and 4, he gets the move on me, and now I have the slipstream right here. I'm going to try and make the move back on him, down to the inside, and I get super tight here off the middle of the corner, and I have to chase the car up the track and not hit him and lift off the throttle. So now that puts me on the back foot. Shuddy is on my rear wing. Now I'm struggling with front grip on top of being in the dirty air of Nikhil. So this is just a recipe for disaster on lap 63. Shuddy goes to the bottom, pretty much identical move as Nikhil did to me, and I'm unable to really keep my line and my speed up in the middle of the corner like these guys. And so now I'm just begging for mercy, honestly, at this point, for my right front to hang on and to try and keep my momentum up, as that's the main thing that's kind of making me lose all these spots so quickly, is that the loss of momentum and the dirty air is just a killer in this situation. So now I'm also getting pressured all of a sudden from 4th place. So now in the span of 3 or 4 laps, I've dropped from 1st to 4th now, as 4th place goes to the inside, and now he gets 3rd place, and now I'm just stuck in the dirty air, not being able to really defend or really push to try and fight back at all. Just because I ran through my front tire so hard the first handful of laps that now I have nothing to fight back with. So now here on lap 75, we're now getting caught by P5. So our difference in pace is very dramatic, and my tire fall off is pretty devastating on this long run. So I typically don't like running to Iowa just because of this reason, just because I don't know how to save my right front. You see right here, I'm just missing the corner, really. I'm missing all the speed that these guys are able to carry on the bottom. So now on lap 77, I wave the white flag, honestly, and I just come into pit road, same lap as Nikhil, and I interrogate Nikhil as to what his tire wear was. Nikhil, what was your right front at?
No clue.
Liar. Well, I ain't telling you mine until you tell me yours.
I literally have no clue.
Still, I ain't telling mine.
32% on my front right. Definitely was not the
Dude.
in, but oh,
How did I even lose it right there? So we have our first real mistake of this race. It was a really odd one because I'm on the outside right here, and for some reason the car just de-wedges and I just get loose. I looked at the replay a million times and I didn't really see any bump that I really hit that upset the car very much. As you saw right there, zoomed in, my rear wing damage that I got from that contact. But right here on board, you don't really see much of a bump for me to really go around, and it just kind of came around on its own. I assume it's because of cold tires, but at this point I've already ran a couple laps on these tires, and yeah, it's just really a weird spin out in that corner alone. And you take a look right here on the rear view, you can see the damage of my rear wing that I got from the guy barely scraping my rear wing trying to avoid the wreck. So now with that caution, everyone comes back down. I would come back down to repair the damage, and now we all get wave around. It's a rule in the league that whoever is a lap down or whatever gets,
yeah, we need one more back.
you know, waved around to get back on the lead lap, back onto the
Michael?
lead lap as many times as possible. So if you're like 5
No,
down, you get
12,
all your
right.
laps back. On a track like this, you can.
But so you're
Get
gonna
away.
So it's just try and make it as competitive as possible. So we almost have a
not.
near miss right here. Almost running to the back of this guy ahead of us on pace laps. But now, getting ready for the restart. I'm actually lined up by 3 lap cars. So right here, when we go green, I'm gonna have a choice to shoot the gap pretty much, thread the needle between these 3 lap cars, and I get through them pretty easily. Thankfully, they already checked up by the time we got to the start finish line, so that made my life a lot easier. So now we got clean track ahead of us to try and chase down P1 and P2. So heading towards the end of this fuel run, not very much happened because we're all just spread out trying to save our tires, and the same scenario happens again as it did the first run. I wore through my tires more than Nikhil did. He was able to catch me and basically be faster than me in the dirty air, but you saw right there he actually made a mistake. He got a little bit tight off exit, so that put him on the back foot, and Shuddy got to his rear wing right there in turn 1, almost made contact, but stayed off of each other, just barely. But now, Nikhil's on the back foot trying to protect his spot from Shuddy from his loss of momentum with his contact to the wall. So that sets up for this very scary moment for me out front.
I was gonna say drive-through.
Oh my god.
Death in one.
Bitch,
Death in
there's
one.
that.
That was dead in one, yeah. That scared me. I saw a wall. I saw a wall of smoke in front of me. I was like, oh Jesus. Alright, so taking a look at this caution right here, it looks like he just got attached to the wall and yoinked the car off the wall, try and get away from it. And basically put himself in a trajectory to hit the inside
Save
wall,
my
bounce
faster
back
pair
up to
for
the front of the track.
A little bit
Now
later.
cutting to the
then.
pit stop exit, we gained a couple spots. We getting up to P2. So now on lap 118, we're restarting second place, and hopefully we can replicate what we did on the start of the race with Kyle right here, going for the restart. We get a good launch right here, a little bit of a tire spin, so we lost a little bit of time on Kyle right there, but I think the more gap I have to Kyle right here, the better it was to actually gain time on him, because that gave me clean air to my nose to try and gain time on him. But now I'm actually getting pressured by Shuddy right here. He's on an absolute tear on this opening lap, so he's got to run on me right here. He's gonna look to the inside. I have no choice but to run the high line, and in doing so I'm able to hold him a little bit tight right here. We actually make a little bit of contact right there off of the corner number 2, and I have no other choice but to surrender P2 to him. So not very reminiscent of lap 1 of this race, to where I can be aggressive right here, but now I'm on the defensive right here on Nikhil as he makes a move for P3. Nothing to his avail, at least, so we were able to hold off the attack from Nikhil for now. And as I say that, he makes a crazy dive, crazy run on me into turn 4, almost wrecks me, actually, almost gives himself wing damage. And he's able to take that run to the inside, squeeze up in front of me, just barely. I lifted right there, just so he wouldn't have any contact. And with that momentum that he got off of the lap before, is able to carry the same exact part the lap after. So the same thing happens, like I said earlier. The second you lose momentum, you're already on the back foot for the guys 2-3 spots behind you. And that's what I'm having to do now. I'm having to defend pretty much 4th place already. And a handful of laps later, we would get our next caution, our first multi-car accident. So right here, riding along, he gets a little loose off exit. I assume he had too much weight jacker, hits the wall, comes back down right in the lane of another car and clips him and causes him to hit the outside wall head first. Right here, looking on board on the McLaren, he barely gets clipped right here, head on into the outside wall. Very unpleasant ride, and that brings out our 4th caution of the day. And that sets up for another pit road strategy call, as pretty much all the lead lap cars come down the pit for 4 fresh tires and a full tank of fuel. Restart. I lost a couple of positions right there, but no matter. But Shuddy has a really interesting start. He goes from high to the low lane and gets a really big jump on everyone else there. So that's something to note about Shuddy's restart tactics at the end of this race, because it comes to very interesting circumstances, I guess you could say, to not spoil anything towards the end of this race. But yeah, he does that quite a few times in these restarts, going high to low and getting a good jump that way. Now on lap 158, we have another caution. The McLaren driver gets loose off of turn 2, hits the inside wall, comes back up in traffic, and we all manage to somehow miss him. So that would lead us down for another set of pit stops right here. I believe I have 2 sets left, and there was a notable mistake there from Nikhil. He actually went a little bit too far forward in his pit box, and that dropped him back behind me as we get ready for another restart. And you see right here, Shuddy does go a little bit low, but he goes to the middle lane. We actually get a good jump on 3rd place right there. We make the move on the inside, and we're able to make the move stick going to turn 1. So now coming up turn 2, Kyle and Shuddy are side by side going to turn 3. This is going to give me a pretty good opportunity to try and make them pass for maybe both of them. But they quickly got it sorted out, and the dirty air kind of prevented me from really making a run on them. So now they're still battling, but I'm still back here struggling with the dirty air, fighting in the car and fighting for grip in the corners. So while these guys are still tussling it out, I'm back here suffering, trying my best to hold back these 2 fast guys behind me, honestly, is what I'm really trying to do. And all I'm doing right now is pretty much just mirror driving, making sure I'm putting my car in front of wherever they go, trying to prevent them from making passes. Nikhil, once again, is like my worst enemy in this scenario, is always managing to make a good, solid run on the inside in these corners and able to close in on me, regardless of how I'm placing my car in front of him, taking the air off of his nose. Here comes Nikhil. You see I take a very shallow entry into turn 1, a defensive entry into turn 1, and I check up a lot more than he did. He gets a really good run out of the corner, and he's going to drive by us with ease, pretty much, as I really have nothing to really fight with. I don't know how to really try and fight what he just was able to do to me right there, but the best I can do now is just run and try and hold off and stop the bleeding. As you fast forward a couple of laps, the guy makes a move on the inside. We're able to pinch him off there, but I lift because I get a little bit tight from the dirty air of Nikhil ahead, and I barely clear.
Whoever's behind me,
in
go
front of
past
him,
me. I'm gonna try something.
And able to give him the dirty air and keep him behind me for a little bit longer. But now he has a slipstream on me on the front stretch. We have a wreck behind, and that just saved me from losing another position right there.
Came in the wall, big surprise.
Dom hit the wall.
I should say that's on me.
Yeah.
Here's a look back on the caution that came out right behind us, actually. Looks like he got a little bit tight off the corner, hits the wall, and just gets ramped on by the car behind him. And that brings out another caution and the second wreck for Cameron, unfortunately. So here's another interesting strategy call. Kyle in front of me pits from second place, and I stay out. So now, on the high side, Shuddy is going to be having us up against the wall, getting debris on our tires, and he's going to come low and actually not go. He actually fakes us all out and doesn't go at all.
Oh,
What just happened? What just happened?
What the heck just happened?
Oh. Can I get my black flag?
Yeah, I'm gonna need black flag clear too.
What the heck?
That was
just-
a mess. So looking back on this, on board, the leader, goes down low and doesn't accelerate at all. He actually maintains pace car speed and fakes us all out. And by the time he does go and the green light goes, Nikhil spins his tires and almost comes up into me and collects me, but I managed to just barely get past him. Right here on board, you can see he fakes me out and a couple others out. And right when Shuddy goes, Nikhil spins the tires and collects pretty much the rest of the field behind me. And here's another look at it, just from a broader view of how it all went down. Alright, well, I don't have any tires left in this race, so I'm really hoping we can run this green and somehow come out of here with a podium. So going green on lap 184, we've got about just over 20 laps to go, or just under 20 laps to go, I should say, left in this race. So now I got a run on Shuddy right here, and instantly we get another caution out. And on review, it looks like a 3-wide move was made, and just a little bit of netcode is what caused this wreck. A little bit aggressive by Kyle, at least I think.
Guys, I really have to pee. Can we please clean it up?
Keep wrecking, guys.
For the
Keep wrecking.
One.
There's
All right, Connor
Cam,
Daly.
Cam, there's always all death for.
Dude, I will piss in my race rig.
Do it, man. Claim your dominance over the new girl on your server.
Nothing worth what Maverick has done in here.
So that pretty much proved what Kyle did was not the way to go, to try and pit for fresh tires and go to the back, because that's just a recipe for disaster. As we get a pretty poor start on Shuddy right here, he gets a really good jump on us, and we got a pretty good run actually coming out of turn 2 just because of the little slipstream effect we got going on. And that happens every time we go into turn 3. I'm unable to really pounce on him, so on colder tires on the restart, I'm able to be really good to use them for one lap, and then I instantly am succumbed to the dirty air running behind Shuddy. So now all I'm trying to do is really just protect P2. Fast forward a couple of laps, we got another caution here.
I look like netcode.
Yeah, is that the race?
Dude, that's the way he's been fucking driving it down there this whole last 5 laps.
That probably is the race. So looking at what brought out the final caution of the race ending caution, Kyle being aggressive on the fresh tires goes to the inside of Hot Dog right here, and a massive netcode is what brought out this caution right here, unfortunately.
I'll take P5. Big fucking doubler.
I'll take P2, my first ever podium finally.
I'm just happy I finished. Happy to
Fucking
survive
driving
this one.
against Carson
Hey,
Kosovar out here.
Any takers this time by? Any takers? Hey, we should pull a 2023 Indy 500 moment right now.
What, where they red flag it?
Yeah, and just do a one-lap shootout.
Yeah. Everyone would be wrecked. Everyone would be wrecked.
Yeah.
I almost put her in the wall right there.
Everyone's so scared.
Oh no! Kyle, no! That's gonna
What is
promote
happening?
Bort up to P4. And just like that, race ends under caution and checkered flags. I'm thankful it did because I don't know how long I would have been able to hold off on the state of my tires were at the end of that race, but I'm glad it was over. It felt like a pretty fast race. So anyway, so here's the points standings after this race. I sit P3 just because I made the most starts out of everyone behind me pretty much in points, other than Nikhil and Cameron. So very tight points battle going into Montreal. I believe we're going to be getting some wet weather racing for Montreal, so make sure and stick around for that video if you guys want to see more of this kind of content from IndyCar on iRacing. With that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.